This time on Ricky's Repairs, we're doing burnouts. Alright guys, what's up? That's Ricky over here, and I got my buddy Eric with me today. He's going to help me out. And we're going to play around with light shadow here a little bit more. Today we're going to put a line lock on there. And what that's going to allow us to do is lock up the front brakes on this thing so we can do some burnouts. Because you got to, making the noise, you're going down the road, you got to do some burnouts, right?
That's right.
Alright, so we're going to do some burnouts. But to do that, we got to install this guy right here. So hang on and we'll show you how we're going to put that in. Okay, so I think we picked out a spot here to put this. I think I'm going to put it right underneath here. And I kind of want it to be like that, because I want it to be close to my master cylinder here. That way I can just run the brake line right off. It's going to come off of this one right here in the back, and then right into it, and then right back out into it again. And it's not going to be a whole big distance away. Alright, so I went and I made a bracket out of a piece of aluminum. This was just a piece of angled aluminum. And I went ahead and off camera marked it up and cut it and trimmed it. I cheated a little bit, sorry guys. Did that off camera, you didn't see it. But I did do that. And so what I'm going to do is mount it. It's going to go like that. It's going to go right up underneath there like that. That's the goal, is to get that like that. And then I drilled the holes here so it'll line up with this bracket right here. So I can mount that to that. So, if you don't care, put these bolts through this bracket. And mount that to that bracket for me. And I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to... I'm going to figure out how we're going to mark that to install it. I'm going to get it.
That's what it looks like.
Dang. This might be. Is that going to fit that? Oh yeah, that's it right there. It's a 10. And almost 7/16. Ought to hold it. Alright. Cool. See if I can find that.
If you ain't got one, I got one.
I got two in here.
I'm sure you do. I do too.
You never know.
When I went down there to that, we got this hole off. But when I went down there, they called me back.
Loosen these up a little bit and give you a little more room to get in there.
They called me out. I almost hit them. I was almost here. Eric, where you at? Like,
Oh, your old car?
No. I'm talking about yesterday when I broke down. When the guy broke down.
Okay.
He called me. Man, where you at, man? My car quit on me.
So you're the go-to guy then.
Yeah, this guy named Rick in our group is like, Eric always keeps tools in his car. Call him.
Yeah, I did. I got that hole off, didn't I? So what happened to his car? Why'd it break?
It's crazy. You know how we smelling rotten eggs. You know it's usually only two things.
Okay.
It's either the catalytic converter, which none of those cars had a catalytic converter,
Okay.
or the battery's overcharging.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it was. But he was in front of me. I was like, what is that smell?
Oh, man.
And kept smelling it. And on our way back,
Yeah.
he was right there right before you get there. His battery was shot.
Yeah.
Because it cooked it.
Oh, man.
So that's what it was. His voltage regulator just hung open.
Yeah.
Fried it.
Huh.
Come up with Richard.
I don't know, man. I'm still looking at it here. I guess what we could do is flip it over and put it on the top, and then mark it on the top, and then transfer it. You know what I'm saying? Because we want it to be like right there. That's where I want it to be. That's like perfect world, right there. Like right that. But I can't see where these holes are. And I can't do it like that because it won't be up in there far enough, because you want it to be like that. So I guess what we need to do, what if we just flip it over? I guess we could do it like that. Mark it right there, right? I guess we could mark it like that, drill them, and then flip it over and put it in.
Yeah.
But we still really don't know how far back we can go. Because those holes are not, they're in towards the back. See how they're offset towards the back?
I mean, we could try it. If we miss, we can just oblong them.
We might have to.
Yeah.
The distance between the holes is going to be the same, so that's all right. We just got to figure out where to put it. I think we need to go right there. All right, now I got to figure out how we're going to get something in there, like a, I don't know, whiteout or something, or paint pen or something, and mark that. Use some rear end dope paint that I had left over from the rear end project. So we're going to use some ring gear marking paint and a cap off of our TV. And then we'll just dip it and stick it. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what that does. Ha ha! Look at that. Okay. That's where we're going to drill. Oh man.
That's what
It'll
make it.
It'll make it. All right, let's try it. Of course, I got the dullest drill bit in the history. In the history of the dullest drill bits. Let me go ahead and get this other one started. I brought some extras, so we ought to be okay. Let me try this. Ooh.
If we close.
Well, these are big holes, so it ought to be good. We ought to be able to move it around. I'll get a rag and wipe that off. We got these tight.
Yep.
All right, let's see how we did here. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna tilt that out and put that nut. Oh, that ain't long enough.
I was wondering that. It's gonna be long enough.
Okay, well, what we can do is take this off, raise it up. Oh yeah, look at all them metal shavings in there. Yeah, that'll almost fall through.
Dang, really?
Yeah, I'll have to get a washer for that. Yeah, let me go find a washer. I was just saying the other day when I was doing another video on something, how loud it is. How loud it is. How loud it is here. Really? You're going to turn that siren on every time I say something.
Yeah. How loud was it?
How loud it is living here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, there's always something making noise. Birds, ambulances, fire trucks, crows, just all kind of junk making noise. I got to drill those out.
Yeah, that's the ambulance. No, that's the
Oh,
ambulance.
is that an ambulance?
Oh.
I don't know how to tell the difference.
Yeah. The way the whining
Oh, that's awesome. Harbor Freight, baby. Dadgummit, look at that. This is why people watch right here. They're like, man, this guy's an idiot, man. He don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Now stay in there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. There we go. If you put it in there straight, it'll go straight. There we go. Okay. I feel better about that. There. Man, that's factory. Look at that. Okay. Now, put that through there. Oh, I'm not. What are y'all doing looking over there? I'm down here. There we go. That's where y'all need to be looking. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get all that on there or not.
I wonder that.
Is it still? Oh, man, that ain't long enough. Yeah, that ain't long enough. I gotta have a longer bolt. Dang it. Alright, let me see if we can find a longer bolt. I'm gonna put a flat washer and a lock washer and a nut on it. Maybe, if I can get it to start. There we go. There we go. Okay, now take this. Too good, is it? If I could just get it up enough to get it. I need to make it where I can get it through there. I need a bigger drill bit. Yeah, it does.
So it doesn't. You
Well,
can get
the
one.
bit keeps falling.
You can get one of those step drills.
I don't know if I have one here. That's the life of a mechanic, you know. All your good tools are at work.
Yeah.
Try to make do with everything that's left over. That ought to make it bigger. Uh-oh. Oh, we're still ticking. All right, we're still cruising here. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Did you take it back in there with you?
What? No, it's right there. Oh, that fits. Okay, that works. I need a lock nut and a. You got a lock nut and a nut over here?
No, I gave it to you already. For the first. You only had the other one is up there.
Oh, is it up here? Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll do the same thing on this one. Oh man. Good one, good one. Oh! I dropped it. Oh! I dropped it.
Find that down there.
No. That's what I like about working on gravel. It makes it so easy to find stuff when you drop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
You're finding why you're over here weeding this. Oh, that's that nut and bolt I was looking for.
That's it. 10mm wrench, please. Thank you.
That's that.
There we go. All right, so.
That ain't working.
Oh man, come on now. It'll work. We'll make it work. Make it enough. I just need to grab it just a little bit right there. What if I snake it through the back on this side?
Cut open it.
Yeah. Let me put this between these two battery terminals here.
Yeah.
Have a real good day.
Yeah.
Now, whose idea it was to put cruise control right there?
Yeah.
One of them GM engineers. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we got it there. Oh, baby. Okay.
That overkill.
It's on there now. Okay. Now we'll take our clip. This is the original clip that came off. Oh, look, but see, we're not really lined up anymore. I think we're still going to be okay. Maybe. Oh yeah. There we go. There we go. Man, that's professional right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, watch that finish over there.
Hey man, I gotta take care of my stuff. It ain't the prettiest, but it gets me down the road.
I took that truck to car wash a couple times. It was all right. As old as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I plan on having this one for a good long time, so. Alright, so we got that mounted. So now what we gotta figure out is this brake line situation here. This is the inlet on this side, and then down here, that's the outlet. So we gotta get it out of our master cylinder. We're gonna take it out of this back line right here, and then we're gonna run it up and put it right into here. That's a heck of a twist right there. I don't think a 90 is really what we're gonna need right there. I think we need to put a straight fitting in there. Yep, definitely. That's weird.
Yeah.
Alright, so to get us some room, we're gonna have to remove the electrical connector right here. Like that. Get this out of the way, because that is in the way of what we are doing. Okay, now what we need to do is put these fittings in here and get them tight where they're going to be. And then we can start letting this, drain this stuff out and making lines. A mosquito right there, he's trying to get me. So take us some pipe dope here. And this right here is what I'm using. That's pretty good stuff right there. Take some of that. And put it on the threads. Like that. We don't want to drop this one, because this is a special bolt. And we will probably never see this again if we drop it. There we go. So just do that. And then we'll just run it down tight. You got Mr. Miyagi going on over there. You want some chopsticks? Give him a fighting chance at least.
I remember where it was. Supposed to be able to put on it. Mosquitoes won't bother it.
There's
I know
that
one thing with the drive sheet.
Yeah.
I tried that. It didn't work. Somebody lied.
Alright, then we'll get this one on this side. I think some of those guys make up stuff on the TikToks and stuff, and like the headlight restoration videos or whatever.
Man,
and the guys like putting aluminum foil and
I heard that you could use
all kinds of crap he's putting on there. And you're just like, hold up, man, really?
One dude said either a lemon or an orange and bug repellent and rub it on there, and it's supposed to do that too.
Let's see, is there a 10 millimeter somewhere? What do I do with that? I think I put it on the boat. Oh heck no! It's like 11 millimeter. 7/16.
that wrench you had was 11.
Yep.
Oh.
Try this one. Yep, that's it right there. All right, that one's good. Good and tight.
Guten Tag.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we got to get this one.
Why'd you get the carport so high?
Because eventually I'm going to cover it in and put a lift in it.
Ah.
And I wanted to be able to raise a car up and not hit the ceiling.
Those things came down in price.
Yeah, they have. They're actually kind of somewhat reasonable now.
Yeah, they are. They used to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dang. Even people that had shops that closed up, they still wanted a lot of money, because I know a couple of shops closed up and money line got up a little out of it.
Yeah. Now I need another straight one, because I'm going to put a straight line in here. I guess that would be the thing to do. Yeah, I want to put a straight in there. I guess. Okay, we'll screw that one in. That's good. All right, now we're at that magical moment. I know when I unscrew that and take it out, all the fluid's gonna drain out. And I do not want that. Because if it drains all the way out here, I could drain all the brakes. I don't want to drain all the brakes. Bleed them. I wish I had a plug that would go in there. I might have a plug. But either way, it's still going to leak out.
Not all of it, though, before you can get that line bent up. Or you think you bend it up first?
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe I could bend it up and then unplug it and screw it in real quick. That might be what we need to do. So I got us a piece of line here. I think what we're going to do is trim it to where it'll kind of fit in here. And then we'll go ahead and make us a bend. And then we can kind of work it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of how it needs to be. We got a short fitting and a long fitting. Alright, let's see, how much we're going to need here? We're going to have to come out here and go up. So I'm thinking maybe this much. So all I'm going to do is I got this little hose cutter here. Right there. And we'll just walk it around like that and tighten it up a little bit every time we go. until it cuts it in half and then falls off and scratches the side of my fender falling on my truck. That's kind of like what we're shooting for, I think, here. Yep, there it goes. Okay. All right. So now that's going to go in there about yo far. So my bend needs to be right about here. So let's look at our bender. This is 1/4 inch brake line. And I've got a die here. It's 5/16 and 3/8, and neither one of them is what I need. So we'll take this off. Right here, 5/16 and 3/8. We'll take this one off. And this one is 3/16 and 1/4. So we'll put it on. Tighten it up. Like that. Okay. Now, I'm trying to come out of there, and I need my bend to be about right here. So you take it and set it in between the wheels. So about right there. Maybe a little further. Looks pretty good right there. And then we'll just squeeze it and bend it. And we're going to put a 90 in it. That's about 90 right there. So now that's going to fit right in there like that. And that's about right there. Because when you screw it in, it's going to go in a little bit. That's about right. Okay. Now the next part's going to be tough because we got to make another bend to get it into here. So we'll go in here. So the next bend's got to be about right here. So it's going to come out, go up, and then bend over this way. So we got to turn our tool a certain way. This is where it gets tricky right here. Why is that not on there right? That don't look right at all. It ain't right. I got this on the tool wrong. Man, that don't look right at all. So look at this. There's a hole in it. A line-up hole. Right there and right there. And there's a notch right there. So when you put this on there, you got to put that in that hole. Man, I was doing that all wrong. Oh yeah, I done bent my tool and everything. Yep. Maybe to bend back out when I bend this one. Maybe. I don't do brake lines very often, so that's about right there. Okay, now we got to figure out where to cut it off. so we can rotate it in. So I think about right there will be a good starting point, because we can always remove more. We just can't go make it longer. Yeah. So we'll start out a little long right here. All right. Okay. That's getting there, ain't it? I think if I just come up here and put another bend in it, it'll be about where it needs to be. I need to put a bend in it about right there. Yeah, we're getting there now. Now I think if I just cut it a little shorter, just a little too long now, I'll cut it off a little bit. That's close. Okay. Now we need to flare this other end here and put a fitting on. Got us another fitting. We need to make sure it's going to fit. Oh, look at that. It don't fit. Hell yeah. Alright, there we go. That's the fitting we want right there. Okay. Good, we got the right size fittings. That's always a good thing. So now we'll slide that over the top of that. And that's not going to be enough to do what I need to do, so we got to straighten it back out. Alright, so this is a flare tool. So we'll take this apart, put our line in it. This is 1/4 inch, so you got a 1/4 inch slot right there. Boy, it barely makes it. And then we got to read the instructions. And to do the flare, you got to go up. It's got to stick up above the tool as high as the head is on the adapter. So we got to find the 1/4 inch adapter. Right there. Put that back on. Put this one back on. And always make sure you put your fitting on first, because if you do this, you never get your fitting on there. Alright, now this needs to stick out that distance. Right there. That's our distance right there. So now we'll tighten it down. So now we'll tighten our tool down here. Really tight. Because you don't want that to move. Like that. So now when you look at it, that tube is sticking out the exact height of that. And then you put this in there, because that keeps it from mushrooming in on itself. And then you take this tool and back it out. And bring it over the top. And tighten it up. Right there. See how that is right there? And then when you tighten down on that, that's going to flare that fitting. A little bit more. Alright, and then you just back it off. Slide it out, take it off, pull this guy out. If you can get it out, because now it's tight. And take this loose. And then all we got to do is get that out, and that'll be a good flare. There we go. Now you got your flare on the end of it. Now what we got to do is, this is a double flare, we got to put another flare on the inside of that flare. Because it wasn't complicated enough. So to do the double flare, what you got to do is take this apart again. And set your hose back in the 1/4 inch slot. But you got to move it down this time. And you want to move it down in there so that it's sitting flush now. Right there. And tighten it back down. Now we got it sitting in our tool here about flush. Now you take this guy, stick it back on the top. Come over here and tighten it up again. So now it's sitting in there like that. Now you just crank down on it again. And we'll back off of it. Take that out. Then we're going to loosen this up again. All right, now that right there is a double flare. So when you look at it on the inside, it's pushed down in there. It's convex on the inside, and the outside like a bell. It's convex on this. That way when your nut goes in there, it pushes that up against that fitting. If you look inside that fitting, you'll see how it comes out to a cone. This cone fits inside that cone. That's a double flare fitting. That's how that works. That keeps it from leaking.
So the first flare is
the first flare is the bottom part right here. Okay. The second flare pushes it in here and makes that. But you got to have your tool set up right or it won't work.
I didn't know that.
And make sure you put your fitting on your line before you do it.
Because cut it back off.
Oh yeah, your wrench will be stuck on there. Just all kinds of jacked up stuff will happen.
Okay.
And you'll be like, damn. Yeah, I've done that several times.
Surely not.
Oh yeah, it happens. Okay. So now I think we're in pretty good shape now. I think we can bend that in there. I think if we're fast here, we might be able to make this work and not lose all our fluid. So let me clear all this out of the way so I don't knock it all off and lose it forever. And we'll see if we can make this happen. This is the moment of truth. You ain't got nowhere to be, do you?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Because once we do this, we're committed.
Yeah.
All right. Oh shit! That fits in there. That's not the right size fitting for that. That's smaller than that. It needs to be this. See, that's that you get into with this. That's not gonna fit. That's gonna slide in there and be like, woo. That is the size I need.
You need that on both sides.
I need it on both ends. Yeah, see that?
Do you have another adapter?
I do. I have another one of these, but
No, I'm trying another adapter to adapt that to that.
no, but I do. I can cut this off and reflare it. But will it be too short?
I think we can make it. I think we can make it.
It's gotta go in there like that. Alrighty, so I had my line lock installed, and what I did was I made a line to go in the end over here, and I came out right there to go to my front brakes. And it worked fine for, I don't know, 1 or 2 launches, but then I noticed after I used it like twice that it's starting to leak down here on the bottom. Right there. It's leaking. And so what happens is when it starts leaking like that, when you go to use the line lock, it will not hold the pressure because it's leaking. And it only does it really when I'm using to have that energized. So I'm going to take this off, and I got a replacement unit for it, and I'm going to swap it out with another unit because there's a bolt on the bottom right here. This is the new one that I got, and right here, if you look on the bottom right there's an O-ring on the bottom of that bolt right there. It's a plug, and inside there is a spring and the actual piston that goes up and down to lock to prevent the flow of fluid going from one to another here. So that's what's inside this bolt right here. Make sure that's tight before you put it on. I made a mistake and it was not tight when I put it on, and I just started having all kinds of leaking problems right in here on this seal around the bottom of this solenoid. And so I'm just going to swap out the whole thing to make sure it's safe and make sure it works properly. But while I'm at it, these are outputs too. This one right here, that's an output, that's an output, and that's an output. And this is where it goes in. This is your input. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it. Right now I've got it, you can see right there, I've got it going out this side port. I'm going to change it because everybody else seems to be running it right here on the front port. So I'm going to go in here and out here. And then I'm going to see how that does. Also, I use thread sealer on my connections here on the plugs. I'm going to go back and I'm going to use Teflon tape because that's what they supplied. And I like the sealant better than the tape, but in this particular application, it might be better to use the Teflon tape. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I need to do here is I'm going to take this line right here, this output line, I'm going to take it loose first because I need to bend my brake line over to where it'll come up here and hit that at a 90 because that's where it's going to go now. So let me take that loose. It's going to be some 9/16 action here. And it's going to be a reach because I got to get it to where it's not going to turn the whole deal. So I got to stick my wrench up underneath. That's actually going to be, that's going to be a 5/8 right there. Right there, and I'm going to hold it right there so I don't turn my solenoid and get this brake line off. I'm going to have to double wrench it like this. Not like that. Once you get it, just slide it down right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the plug out of this one. Alright, and then what we'll do is put our 90 in there. Oh look, it ain't going to fit. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Alright, so I got to take this one out because I can't spin the 90 around, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and disconnect this sensor switch here. That's your level sensor there. We're going to disconnect that. Get y'all in here where you can see. There we go. Now to get this connector off on this particular truck, you need to take you a pick or something, and I've got a little flat head right here, and just go in here and get this little tab right here and then pull it back like that. That way you can get that unplugged and get it out of the way. Because we don't want to break that, because that'll be something else you got to buy, and we don't want to buy nothing else. Alright. Now we can remove the brake line right here. Actually, I'm not going to remove it. I'm just going to loosen it and just turn this back out of the way, because all I need to do is get to this fitting right here. And we'll just take this fitting off. Well, I put that in there good. There we go. Go ahead and remove that. Then we're going to stick this one in here, and this is just to get everything lined up. That's what we're doing this for. So we'll just screw this one in. There we go. I'm going to turn that one to where it's facing down, kind of like right there. That's kind of what we're shooting for right there. Now, what we'll do is we need to get this line to go in there. So we'll just pull it down like that. And then we got to see what we're going to have to do here. What we're going to have to do is just slide the whole deal over and bend it up a little. So yeah, let me go ahead and take this other one off, because hopefully we don't lose all our fluid. I don't think we will. It looks like it's slowing down. Okay. So I'll take this one over, and then we're going to have to bend it up. It needs to turn because the angle ain't right. So it'll just kind of be a little bit of a twist on it like that. A little bit out like that. And that way, when we slide it over, it'll go up in there. That's what we want. That's pretty close right there. So that way, when you stick it up in there like that, we want it to thread straight. And that is not straight. So it's at an angle right there, so we'll just bend it around here till we can get her lined up good. Do what we gotta do here. There we go. Get her started. And there's a lot better ways to do this than how I'm doing it. But I'm not getting all precise with it and getting a bender out here trying to fit it in this hole. It's a tight little hole right here, a tight little fit to get all this in here, and I just can't get in there with anything, so I'm just going to bend it a little bit. Try not to kink it. And when I get this where it needs to be, I'm going to try to relieve some stress, because right now it's got a little bit of stress on it. And we don't want this thing to leak. So I'm just going to kind of run it in there. And I made sure I didn't cross thread it. That's another thing. Make sure it goes in straight. If you cross thread this is brass. It's real soft. Once you cross thread it, it's over. You might as well throw that fitting away. Get you another fitting, because it's probably going to leak, because this metal's real soft. Alright, so there. That's kind of snug. That's about where we want it right there. But we've got tension on our line now from where I've moved it over. And I kind of want to relieve a little bit of that. So now we can kind of tweak it a little bit here. Just kind of give it a little tweak. And we're going to rest it a little bit, because we don't want it pushing on nothing. So yeah, I'm just trying to relieve a little tension here. That's all we're doing. And actually what I might do here is turn this fitting back just a little bit. Right there. It seems to be pretty happy right there. So now I'm just kind of feeling it to see. Okay, that's good. So it ain't got a lot of pressure on it no more. You don't want to have a whole lot of, you know, it's trying to go one way and you're forcing it to go another kind of action. That feels pretty good right there. Okay, so that's how we're going to make it on our new one. So now that I've got that straightened out, I'm going to go ahead and take this back off, because we know where we're going to be now. Now all we got to do is take our ground off over here. Go ahead and take that off. And there's our ground. We'll have to do a new ground. Go ahead and take that out. Uh-oh. Lost all my hardware. Alright, that's okay. We'll get another one. And here's where I've got it hooked up to power. So we're going to have to disconnect that and then do another power. Alright, now we'll go ahead and disconnect our power here. Right there. Alright, and we'll go ahead and take it off our bracket here. Now, take our new one and just repeat the procedure here. We're just going to put it right back on. Put it through there, put your flat washer on there, and a lock washer, and a nut. Yep. Sure did. Dropped all my nuts. Alrighty, mechanic's best friend right here. Get you a magnet. Save your butt a lot. Save mine a lot. See that? Pull that nut right out of there. I don't know where my washer went. It gone. It got gone. Alright. Son of a... Come on now. Oh! Losing all my washers. There again. The magnet is your buddy. Pulled all that back out of there. See that, man? Don't go nowhere without a magnet. And they give us this little roll of tape right here. So we're going to use this, since that's what they gave us. So we'll take one of these plugs out here. I think that's a 7/16 if I do remember. Yep. Take that plug out. We're going to put some tape on it. And this right here is funny, because what you want to do is you want to put it on there so that when you screw it in, it don't unroll itself. So you want it to end on the upside right here. So that means we got to start it like that and then roll it around. like that. And keep it straight as you're rolling it. And just keep it straight. Take your time. We want to do this one time. We don't want to do this no more. So we're going to take our time here. And see how that flap is going like that? That way, when I put it on, it'll keep it tight and it won't unroll itself. Now all we got to do is stick it in the hole right there. Like that, and tighten her down. You ain't got to murder her or nothing, just get her tight, and that should be good right there. Now we'll do the same thing over here on this side. And I don't have a wire brush on my belt sander, my belt grinder, so I've got a wire brush here. And we'll just go through here and wire brush it off. That looks pretty good. Alright, now get us some more tape. And we'll do the same thing again. Rinse and repeat. And put a little tension on it while you're doing this so that the threads show. You ain't got to kill it because it'll rip. But just a little bit of tension on it. Not like that. Now we'll go ahead and put this one in the input side here. So now I'm using these two ports instead of this one and this one. So we're ready to go now. We'll put this back on. We got to come up with a ground here on our black one. I got to go find us a ring terminal to go on there. We'll crimp us a terminal on there. Alright, so I went and found us a ring terminal here. And we're going to go ahead and put it on the ground here. We got us some crimpers. Give her a crimp. There we go. Now power, we'll run a power here in a little bit, but for now, let's just go ahead and get it mounted. So we'll just go ahead and set her back up in here, right like that. And I found us another nut to go on that I lost earlier. So we'll go ahead and get that one started. And then, rock her back here. Get that one started. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take our ground and put our ring terminal on there. Right there. And then a washer. And then a nut. Alright, so found us a nut again. So we'll go round 2 here. Go ahead and run her down. Actually, we've got to put an 8mm socket on the top and a 10mm on the bottom. There we go. That one's good. Well, this one's kind of tricky. You got to reach around and get this one. Alright, that one's good. Alright, we're getting to be in the home stretch now. All we got to do now is hook up our lines and then get us another power here. I'm going to change this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the new one on a relay. And I'm going to make sure I'm giving it plenty of power. So that ought to be good. So, alright, so now we're going to, on a side note, we're going to hook this one back up here. Get it back in there started. Well, I hooked that just right. Okay. There it goes. See how it's going up in there real good? That's good. That means I ain't got really any pressure on that line. I know I've said that 5 million times, but it is important. That's why I keep saying it. It's because you don't want problems right there. So now I'll just go ahead and snug this up like that. That right there. Then what I'm going to do is take a 5/8 and put it on that fitting. And then I'm going to take this one right here, put it right here. That way I can go ahead and snug it up, and I ain't messing nothing up here. Right there. Okay. And that seems to be kind of how it wants to sit, is right there actually, now that I've got it tight. It kind of wants to be right there, so that's all right. Just snug that up a little bit right there. The trick's going to be right here on this next line when I put it in. So actually, let me loosen this back up here a little bit. Let me let that have a little bit of free reign there, if you will. So this one is going to be the test. Get that one started in there good. Like that. And this one should be pretty much straight back in there, kind of how it was. Alright, now we got to tighten this line up down here on the bottom. Don't forget about it. There we go. Now, take this electrical connector that we took out earlier, fish it back through there, and then we're going to plug it in again. Right there. Alright, now, all we got left is give it power right here and bleed the brakes. And we'll be good to go. Make sure this is snug. Yep, okay, that's good. Actually, I'm going to back it off here a little bit. I want to let it kind of relax and get kind of where it wants to be. Then I'm going to tighten it back down. And you don't want to tighten this too tight either. Just kind of get it snug like that. That's all you want. Okay. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get our red wire here ready for power. And I went and found us a butt connector. And we'll put us a butt connector on here and crimp it. Like that. There we go. That's where our power is going to go in there to turn that on and off. So we'll just leave that for now, and we'll go ahead and bleed the brakes and get us a relay and a socket, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so let's we verified that our solenoid now, our line lock solenoid, does not leak anymore. So now we're going to finish up our wiring here. We're going to install a relay and a relay wire harness connector, and you can get these at the local auto parts store or whatever. But this is going to be a 4-pin relay. We're not going to use the 5th pin in here, and I'll explain that in a minute. And we'll take that middle one out right there. All we're going to use is 30, we're going to use 30, 85, 86, and 87. And we're not going to use that 87A right there. That's for a different application. So what we need to do, I guess, first is remove the middle wire out of this bundle, because this is a 5-wire relay setup and we're only going to need 4 wires out of it. So right there, that middle wire, that's 87A. We're going to remove that part right there because we don't even want that in there. And if you look down inside the connector here, on that middle pin right there, that's the one that we're going to remove. There is a little tab in there, and when you push the wire, the connector goes up through this side right here, and then it gets up in there and it locks, because there's like a little metal tab in here that locks up against the plastic in there. So we're going to stick a screwdriver in there and push down on that so that we can release this connector right here. And I might have to go get a sharper pick. I don't know if this one's going to do it, but we'll try here. There you go. So you just kind of go in there and push it down, and then this right here was up in there. It'll come out like that. See, we took that whole connector out right there. That's what you want. We'll discard that because we don't need that. Alright, so now all we're left with is our 4 wires. So we got 30, 85, 86, 87. That's all we're going to deal with right here. So to know which one of these is which, you just look on the bottom of your relay right here. And if you look up in there, they got numbers next to each one of these terminals right here. And what we're looking for is 30. And 30 is right here. That one right there is 30. So all you do is just line up your relay, how it goes in the socket like that. You ain't got to push it all the way in, but get it to where it lines up. It'll only go one way. And then you take it back out and look at it. So 30 is right there on the bottom. 30 is this red one right here. Right there. That's going to be your constant 12-volt source from the battery right there. So what we're going to do take us some wire strippers here. We're going to strip the end of this red wire back. Like that. That way, we're going to solder these wires together because I don't want to put butt connectors in here or nothing like that, because it could create a short or a problem in your wiring. If you solder them and use heat shrink, in my opinion, when you can, that's the best way to go. So this is heat shrink tubing right here. You can also get this at the parts store. You want to get you some that's big enough to go over the wire you're getting ready to do. And you just want to cut you off a little piece. You ain't got to use a whole lot here, just enough to cover what you're doing. So when you look at it, out of that piece, I only use this much for this one joint. And when you get this stuff hot, it shrinks and creates a good watertight seal around that connection. So then put this on first, and then slide it all the way down the wire like that. Just get it out of the way. Then what we're going to do is, this is multi-strand wire. We're going to spread these wires apart right here. Right like that. Because we're going to solder this to a fuse. Now the 12 volts coming straight from the battery, this is going to be hot all the time. So you want to have a fuse on it. This is an inline fuse. This kit comes with a 5 amp fuse. It's inline, so we're going to keep it like that. So what we're going to do is, they already pre-stripped it, but we're going to take a little bit more off of that than that, because I want a little bit more to play with. So we'll strip it back a little bit more like that, and then we're going to fan that out right there. Soldering has its advantages, because not only are we fanning these out, and when we put them together, we're going to twist them together. That's going to be a good mechanical joint. You know, a good physical connection is what we're going to make there. And then when we put the solder on there and the flux and everything, it's going to make a chemical joint also, because it's going to cause a chemical reaction when you use this flux. This is the key to soldering wires right here. Solder and paste flux. You can get this at the parts store too. Get you a can of this. This right here is what helps to make that chemical reaction happen. So all you got to do is just open your can up. And you want to dip your wires in it. Just coat them. All you want to do is coat them in flux like that. That's a lot right there. That's plenty. See how we got flux all over it? Okay. Take your fuse, and you're just going to put your 2 fans together here. And let them get sopping wet with that flux like that. Just like that. And then kind of hold them together down here. And then twist. This is how I do it. Everybody kind of has their own way of doing it or whatever. But this is how I like to do it. I go one direction on the back side, and then another direction on the other side. And I want them to be locked up pretty tight. About like that. Alright. See if I can make this stay for you guys so you can see this happen here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, let me zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better here. So I got my flux on it, and I've got it wrapped together. I've got a good mechanical connection now. Now what I'm going to do is take my solder. You want to use a rosin core solder. And you don't want to use big solder on this, because this is not large wire. You want to use a small diameter rosin core solder here. Because a big solder, big diameter, it's going to take a lot more to melt it, and you're going to fry everything in here trying to melt it. You just want it to be, you know, pretty small right here. You don't want a whole lot. Usually you can use like a cigarette lighter or something, but I don't have one of them available. I got a blowtorch. So this is going to be way overkill for what we're doing right here. But this is all I have. So this is what we're going to use. So what we want to do is heat that flux up till it liquefies, and then we're going to just kind of guide this solder on there, and it's going to suck it in. And when it sucks it into that wire right there, that's it. That's a good solder joint after that. So we'll heat it up and then we'll do it. Here, check this out. And that was way too hot. See how I scorched my wire right there and there? This is too much here. That's like a dang howitzer on this. This big old thing I'm using right here. You need to use a smaller flame, because that right there, that's just too damn hot right there. It melted the wires and everything. You don't want to do that. But for this application, it'll be all right. Alright, now that we got it soldered together real good right there, we'll let it cool down a little bit and wipe off the wires, wipe off that paste, because you want the heat shrink tubing to stick to it. So we'll just kind of do that. And then we'll slide our heat shrink where we had it down there earlier, slide this up and go right over the top of it right here. Yeah, that's hard right in there now. And just go right over the top of it. And cover all that up. Like that. And you want to cover it all up, just like that. Now we'll hit it with the torch again, and that'll shrink on top of that and create a weatherproof connection. The water can't get in there. So we'll just take our torch again, just warm it up. You don't want to cook it here, fry it. You just want to get it warm. Just turn it over. Right like that. That's all you want right there. And then just for a little added insurance, I'm probably going to put a little electrical tape on top of that. Because I don't want any problems out of this wire right here. So I'll just take a little bit of electrical tape here. And we'll just run this little tape down through here. Alright, all the way down there through there like that. Okay. Now, we got our fuse on our pigtail. So we got our pigtail and our fuse. This is going to be battery hot all the time. Now we got to run us a wire from the other side of our fuse all the way down to our power down here. And I'll show you that. But before we do that, we need to get some other stuff done first, because I'm not ready to mount this yet. So next up is going to be ground. So that's going to be number 85. So you look back on your relay here and look for number 85. You got 86 over here. 87 there. So this is 85 right here. That's 85 right there. So now we got to turn this around here and figure out what color 85 is. 85 on this one is going to be blue. 86, 87, so that's 85 right there. So that is going to be, let's see, 2 down right there. Yeah, so 85 on this one's going to be blue. So this blue wire right here, that's going to be our ground. And then I picked out a ground already because I've already got one going over here for our other relay. And if you look right there, that's my ground for my other relay that we did for our fan. If you've been following along, that's our fan relay. That's the ground for it right there. So I'm going to hook this ground into this one because my other relay is going to go right here next to this one. I'm going to have two relays right here next to each other. This is the one we're wiring up. It's going to go right there. This is going to be the ground right here. So that's pretty short right there. I don't have to go very far for that one. So I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit here. I'm going to take a little bit off because I don't need all that going through there. And then we'll go ahead and strip this one back. And we're going to put a ring terminal on this one. So just strip it back, twist the ends like that. And now we need to find us a ring terminal that'll fit on that. And I got a little bag of goodies here, and there should be a ring terminal in here somewhere that'll work. Let's see, those are pretty big. I need something kind of small. Maybe that one right there. That one right there might be a good one right there. Let's look at that one. Yeah, I think that'll work. So it's got to go around a self-tapping screw, which is this size right here. This is the size self-tapping screw we're going to use. See, that goes right on it, right there. So that's good. Okay. Go ahead and test fit that. Now, what we'll do is go ahead and take our end here and go ahead and put our terminal on it. So you just slide it right in right there. Give her a little twist when you do it, like that. Then you want to come back here with your crimpers and give it a little crimp. Right there. That way you got you a good ground right there. Alright, now this has heat shrink on it too, so we're going to heat it up, and that right there is going to crimp down on that wire and make a good connection there too. Right like that. Now I'm going to have to get me a new torch after this because I'm heating these wires up too hot. But that's basically what you want there. Ow, ow, hot. So that's our ground. Okay, next up is going to be 12 volt switched. That's going to be the power going from the switch inside the truck. And my overhead, if you follow along, I've got that switch panel in there. When I flip the switch for this to come on, it sends power to number 86 in this relay. This is the low voltage switch side. So 86 is over here on this side. So we'll take it again and line it up here and see what we got. So 86 over here looks like it's going to be green. Let me double check. Yep, right there. That fits in there like that. Right here, that's 86 going through here. That's green. So we're going to do this on 86. This is our switch 12 volt power wire. So we're going to go ahead and strip this back. And then we're going to need some heat shrink on this one because we're going to solder this one. Take this piece of heat shrink right here. And because I'm kind of getting the wires too hot, I'm going to take a little bit bigger piece this time. And we'll just feed it through. Run it all the way down through here like that. Get out of the way. Then fan this out. We'll spread all these little wires out right here. Then we'll just do the same thing like we did earlier. Take us some flux, dip it. You don't need a whole lot, just about that much. And then we got to find our 12-volt switch wire. So if you guys have been following along, these are my 5 switches that are in my overhead right now. And we use the blue one here. So we're going to keep using this blue one. And then we're going to strip that back. Like that. Give ourselves some room. And then we're going to fan it out. Right like that. And then we're going to take our green switch relay wire here. And we're just going to do the same thing. Put these together. That. Close them down. And twist. Not like that. Right there. And then we'll go ahead and solder those together. And let that cool down a little bit and run your heat shrink back up here. Like that. And just heat that up and shrink that. Now our switch wire is done. That's going to be 87 right here. It's going to be this yellow one. That's the only one we got left. So we're going to go ahead and strip it back. I need to cut this in half. So I'm going to cut this in half. Same thing, rinse and repeat. Fan this out. And there's other ways you could do this. I mean, I could have made a connector, put a weather pack connector on it, and made a connector that I could, you know, disconnect and reconnect whenever, but I'm not planning on taking this back apart anytime soon. So I'm going to go ahead and make this more of a permanent installation here. There we go. Alright, now. Okay, so now what we need to do is actually mount our relay. We need to go ahead and mount this where it's going to go. Okay. So we're going to mount our relay right here next to this oven, this little cubby hole right here. That's where we're going to mount our next relay. So before we do that, what we need to do is take our end here that we just made and take our relay and go ahead and plug it in. And just line it up, kind of how it's supposed to go right there. And just push it in all the way in this time. There we go. Okay. Now, sorry, hit you there. Since this is not a weatherproof relay, it's not really going to get much weather here under the hood, but it might get a little bit. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of electrical tape here. Put a little electrical tape on it. And work our way around it here. I like that. Just cover it up good. That way the water can't get in the seam there. It's going to run down and be fine. Okay. All right, so we'll just put this down here where it's going to go. Out there. That's how it's going to be right there. That's going to be its new home. Right there next to that one. So we'll take us a self-tapping screw here. And an impact. And run us a screw in there. Like that. Now it's mounted. That looks pretty good right there too. Okay. Now, what we got to do is we got to run this the rest of the way home. So what we'll do, try to fold all this out of the way here. We're just going to run this wire kind of with the other wire here. Right down through here, up underneath here, all the way back here until we can hit our other wire. That's our ground wire, the black one, and we had a red wire right here. This one is the one that we just disconnected from the other one. So now we got to make a new one here. So I think I'm going to run it around the back here. Up there. And I've already put a butt connector on it. Right there. So that's fine, I can do that. So now I've got to get this one coming off our relay going into that one. That's what's going to energize it. Not like that. And then we just got to crimp it. Then we'll just give her a little bit of a tug test here. That's good. And then this has heat shrink on it also, so we'll shrink that up. Like that. Alright, so that's got us right there. Alright, now this has to go to hot, and then don't forget, we got a ground here. This one right here needs to come over here to there to go to ground. And then we're just going to put it right back together. Right the way we got it. Now we got to get this one. Has got to come over here into this panel right here. Right there. That's a constant 12 volt source right there all the time. That's where we're going with that. Okay, so we got all of our wiring done now. I got put some loom on that wire right there. Got our main power coming out of our box, all hooked up to our relay right here. So now this relay is for the fan, and this one is for the line lock. And so all of our wiring is done. So let's turn the key on now and see if we can hear it click to let us know if it's working or not, and then we'll go try it out. So I think the relay is going to be a lot better in this situation, because I think the power, the 12 volts that I have going through all of my switches here in my upper switch panel, I think there was a voltage drop, and probably it wasn't strong enough to hold that relay too. So now I've got, this is just a signal line going to my line lock. So once I hit this, it'll energize that relay, and then the relay sends the big power to the line lock, and that's what's really going to hold it. So let me click this, and we'll see if it clicks out there. Yep, I hear it clicking. Alrighty, so that's it. So now we'll take it out and test it and see if this thing works.